Hello everyone. We are going to wire a house that was built about a year ago, one and a half years ago. Going to wire it with Cat 6 and RG6 coax. Nothing was wired when this house was built. There's electricity to the rooms upstairs, single story house, ranch, full basement. So that's how we're going to get our wires to where they need to be. But we just got here, and first thing we're going to be doing is putting our rack on the wall. Mark's building it now. We've got our board up here, so we're going to put that board on the wall. Our rack is going to house the modem, Wi-Fi unit, router, internet switcher, power distribution with our home management from Panamax, our surge protection. So that's what's going to go in the rack. And again, coax and Cat 6 are going to be here at this home location. 7 lines to different rooms throughout the house. We're talking bedrooms, office, one in a kitchen. So that is the overall plan, and I will update you then as we get our rack on the wall and then start getting lines to different locations in the house. All right, we'll be back with you. All right, guys, we've got an update here. We've actually got about 3 lines run, working on the 4th, and the rack itself is up without the equipment in it. But this is one of the bedrooms, so we do have our Ethernet and coax line here. This is run down into the basement and over to the rack. We'll move over to the next bedroom. And this bedroom here, we've got same thing, Ethernet coax at this point. There's a return grill and a power outlet over there. We'll move over to the office, and then I'll kind of show you what we ran into there, what we prevented from happening, I should say. So let's go there, and I'll be right back with you. All right, here we are in the office, and they wanted their Ethernet line over there in case they needed an access point. They're going to have a big curio sitting here, most likely a nice big stand cabinet. So they wanted, if they needed, to have a wireless access point for mesh sitting on top of it. So they wanted their access point, I'm sorry, their Ethernet line and the port right there. But I moved it over to this corner of the wall instead. Reason being is if we step over and we look at the other side of this, and then I'll show you in the basement also. HVAC people, there's our return. There's a return grate, and then they're using the joists to take the air back to the furnace. So the furnace is over about right there in the basement, so they're using a joist. So we stayed out of that cavity where they were going to, where they're using a cavity in the basement, a joist cavity to get your return air back to the furnace. So we just moved this over about a foot and got into an open cavity. And so I'll go show you down in the basement, particularly what I'm referring to there. All right, so here we are in the basement, and here is that return duct air cavity that I'm talking about. And if we look at it, it goes all the way over, back into the furnace and back into the return. The ducts just go the length of the basement for the most part for heating and cooling, and for your forced air and then your returns. So by moving over, I'll show you here. Here's our line here in this cavity, and then we're getting it head back over to the rack. So again, had I been over here, well, this would have had to come down. Not something fun. You don't want to be in a return duct cavity. Sometimes people will poke holes, or they'll cut a hole in the side and poke the wire through and goop it or silicone it, patch it all up. I would rather not be in that. Let's prevent that problem and that issue from happening. Let's keep it all nice and clean and come into a duct, or I should say a cavity in the basement that has nothing in the way. I'll head over to our rack and I'll show you what we got going there. Okay, here's our rack. We've got some of our Ethernet lines, again Cat 6 and coax to it. Definitely not finished or anything at this point, but 3 of the lines are run. These are to our bedrooms here. That's the office line we just ran. They're going to come to here. We'll put our equipment in there, modem, router, internet switcher, network switcher, all of that in that rack. So that's the update as of this point, and we will keep updating you as we move along. All right, guys, so we're at the kitchen in this little section here, this nice little indentation here in the kitchen, but need to get an Ethernet line up to here for internet. And the way we did that, pretty straightforward, but we've got our internet line here now. We did not come up this side of the wall because here's our cabinet, and this is our cabinet side, so we'd have to cut a hole in the cabinet, and then behind that you're going to find your drywall. So then there's two holes, just not fun playing inside of that. So the way we got our line up to here, came in through the pantry side, which this is the back side of the drywall. That's about the level we're at right there. But down below, we cut a hole in the drywall, and then that's where we drilled down into the basement. This is just going to get a blank plate, nothing on it, just a blank plate in a sense. So we'll put this in here, put our blank plate on, and that'll be the way, that's how we got our line up to the kitchen area here. If they have a phone or anything, never know, we may want to go back to a hard phone, but that's what it's there for, or anything else needing internet. All right, we'll get back to you in a minute with more updates. All right, everybody, we are getting finished up here on this job site actually now. I'll go over a few of the updates or the things that occurred actually too. One, this is our rack system. Everything's installed and taken care of. Cable modem coming in. Here is the router that they're using for their house. So we're taking our internet line out of the cable modem into the router. From the router, we're coming into our network switcher. Then out of our network switcher into all of our locations. Locations, if we can see, but we've got kitchen, office, bedroom 3, bedroom 2, the main TV, master bedroom, and the basement location. So that's the process and the flow chart of how we're getting signal from our modem, router, network switcher, and then to the locations of the house. As far as coax lines are concerned, because we did run coax to most locations also, our line coming in, this is our splitter and distribution amp, which was here from Spectrum, so that's great. This is just going out to all our TV locations and our cable modem also. So that's what's supplying signal. In, out, and power distribution also for there. The other item too is we've got our Panamax surge protector. This is protecting against surges for power, surges on the coax Ethernet line, and both of those. So coax, RG6, and Ethernet line. As far as our Ethernet is concerned, it's coming out of here, coming down into our Panamax unit for Ethernet protection, out of this into the router. So actually that's how we're doing that process. Same thing with our coax. Our line directly coming in from cable is coming into this, and then we're going out of this into our system. So that's our Panamax unit. One other thing that we did also, because we ran cat line to the kitchen area where they're going to have a phone, we also just ran, we had some adapters and didn't really want to use those, or they didn't want to use those to take Cat 6 and make it an RJ45 connector into an RJ11 connector. So we just ran a telephone line and swapped out the plate. We did keep our Ethernet line, our Cat 6 line in there also, in case they would ever want to revert back to that. So by doing that, that allows them to have their telephone plugged into their cable modem here, and then have an actual hardline phone. Yeah, I know, the old days of a hardline phone, who would have thought? That allows them to have a cordless landline phone up in their kitchen. So we did run a telephone line there also, with a standard telephone jack, allowing that to work. Again, the other way of doing that, you could do it over Cat 6, but have adapters to take RJ45 to RJ11 connectors. But we didn't want to, and they didn't want to do that either. So we'll just put a phone line in. How about that? I'll take you over to our basement location, where our basement TV is at. That's going to be around here. While we're doing that, here is some of our lines coming to this direction. One's going to the bedroom, and one is going to the basement location right here. Two are going to split off here, come to this. So there we have our tube coming down, and then onto our jack on the wall for coax and Ethernet. Here's their TV. Now they just need some outlets in the basement, but that's going to provide them signal for coax and or hardline internet to this location in the basement. All right, I'll show you a couple other things upstairs and we'll kind of finish this video up. All right, here we are in the master bedroom. They did have this TV here on a different mount and everything, and they have a cable box at this location. So what we actually did is we mounted their cable box behind the TV, and we've got a nice Sanus mount that gives us 6 inch of extension, or you can push the TV back. It does not have to stay extended, but that little bit of extension allows you to get your hands back here, hook up things, disconnect things as needed, and allows you to have the extra little bit of space needed to mount a cable box. We've got our cable box mount here. Kudos to Hide-It mounts, great mounts for those things. And then again, our Sanus bracket, giving us 6 inches, and then you can turn it side to side and then push it back. So those are hidden. And there is our port, our outlet we put in for coax and Ethernet at this location in the master bedroom. All right, I'm going to push this back here, get that squared away. And that is that location. What we also did in here, just FYI, you'll see a blank wall plate here at the ground level. That is there, that's how we got the lines up. We put a hole in the wall there. That allowed us to drill down into the basement, poke our lines up to there, and then a fish, wire fish, we put down to that location from up here at our TV. So that's how we got the lines, and you're just going to have to deal with a blank wall plate on the wall there to get a hole into the basement where there's no lines coming up. All right, guys, back in the basement real quick, but that's going to pretty much sum this video up. Again, here are our lines going from the basement TV and the main master bedroom TV. This is how we kind of got them over here, up through here, came across, drilled through here, again keeping everything away from power, a good 12 inches away. Came through here and then down and across over to our rack. I'll give you a peek of that again. But this job again was primarily, a customer called us. This house was built a year and a half ago, basically 2020, 2021 time frame in that area. No hardline, no Cat 6 run anywhere to the bedrooms, no coax run anywhere, nothing. So when these people moved in, they're like, hey, wait a minute, I'd like some lines run in my house. So we took care of all that, put a rack in, again, cable modem, router, network switcher, power protection, and there's our distribution going to the rooms of the house. Okay, that's going to pretty much sum this video up, guys. If you need anything like that done, network wiring, audio, indoor, outdoor TVs, anything of that nature, home audio, video, look us up. Throw any comments down below in the comment section, and you know what to do, and subscribe. And we will see you on the next one. Have a good one, everybody.